Welcome back to JBSports. I'm your host, Jonathan Burton, and today is Friday, so you know it's all about the normal sports. Today, we're probably going to get into some NBA playoffs, maybe a little bit having to do with the NFL, but mostly NBA playoffs. That's just what's big right now. But to start it off, we'll go over just the quick first round, second rounds that have happened. I know I already kind of had an episode with this with my guest Josh Herr, but just a recap of what's happening. Timberwolves, Thunder, Grizzlies. Thunder swept the Grizzlies to make it to the second round. Denver Nuggets versus the Clippers. The Denver Nuggets 1-7 against the Clippers. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Lakers. Anthony Edwards, the legend killer, slays two legends in LeBron James and Luka Doncic, and continues on. The Minnesota Timberwolves defeating the Lakers 4-1. And then, unfortunately, my Rockets, after coming back from a 3-1 series lead for the Warriors, making it to Game 7, just choked and couldn't make it to the next series, which, by the way the Timberwolves are playing, I don't know how we would have played against them. But on the other side, Cavaliers sweep the Heat. Pacers beat the Bucks 4-1. Tyrese Halliburton proving that he is not overrated as the whole NBA voted for him. Mr. Overrated is not the name. Okay, but they beat the Bucks 4-1. Next, New York Knicks defeat the Pistons 4-2. And finally, the Celtics beat the Magic. Sorry, I almost said Mavericks. Magic 4-1. We'll get into some of the Celtics stuff in a little bit, but we will go back to the other side to talk about the round twos. So, you look at this and you see the Thunder and the Nuggets. Thunder might have wanted to been done this series already because if anyone knows anything about this Nuggets squad in Game 7, they're pretty good at them. At least Jokic and Jamal Murray are. Let's think about this. They came back from two, I think, 3-1 leads in the bubble in the playoffs, and then they eventually did lose. They have come back. They won Game 7 this year. They've had a few the last few years. So the Nuggets and Jokic are known for performing in Game 7s, and as a veteran team, a more, you know, experienced team, they're just better at them. And the Nuggets, they're a young team. The Thunder, they're a young team. They could win this, but if there's any team I wouldn't want to meet in a seven game in the series would be Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. They're just so used to them. It's almost like they like playing in those games. It's almost like they're better. Like in the Clippers game, Game 7, 120 to 101. That's just rough. That's that's it. So that Game 7 for the Thunder is in 2 days. Thunder versus Knicks. Thunder versus Nuggets. What am I on right now? And then Game 6 tonight between the Knicks and Celtics will happen. We'll get into that in a little bit. Next series already done. Timberwolves versus Warriors, 4-1. Anthony Edwards again, legend killer, slaying some more, some playoff legends and some current legends and forever legends. But the Timberwolves do take out the Warriors. Steph Curry was hurt, but the way the Timberwolves were playing, I don't think it would have made a difference for Curry. He played very well against the Rockets. I'll give him his flowers that he deserves. But I think the Timberwolves are just outmatching them this year. They do go on to face the winner of either the Thunder or Nuggets. Go to the other side of the coin. Cavaliers versus Pacers. Once again, Tyrese Halliburton plays very well this series. Has a game-winning shot again this playoff series against who was on him? Was it Max Strauss? Someone on him. He hits a step back three in Game 2 to win. He has just been phenomenal this playoff. He's had like one or two rough games, but other than that, he's been pretty phenomenal. They will go on beating Cavs 4-1 to face either the Knicks or Celtics. Celtics, very unfortunate that Jason Tatum did suffer a ACL injury, torn ACL. Praying for him. I hope he has a healthy and speedy recovery and can get back on the court because no matter what the haters say, no matter how much jokes are on Instagram, he is fun to watch. He is a good guy and he deserves to be able to play again, even with the ACL tear. He deserves to come back. Do I think the Celtics will move on? If Luke Cornett plays like he did the other game, there's a chance. But I do think the Knicks are gonna close it out tonight. I really do. I think they're gonna win it tonight and then go on to face the Pacers, which last year 7 games, Pacers beat the Knicks to move on in the playoffs, knocking the Knicks out. You could see that again. You could not. We'll see. It's a different Knicks team. They got Karl Anthony Towns now, a really competent center. But on the other side, the Pacers, they got Miles Turner. He's been playing really well. He is a blocking machine. He is very good. And just all around, there's a lot of good players on both teams. It's really going to go down to who has more depth, I think, at least. Jalen Brunson has been playing phenomenally, again, phenomenally. And he has been the best player on that team. You can't always win with just one player. Sometimes you can, but against the Pacers, you can't. The Pacers have really good depth. So, personally, my team's not in, and if I really wanted a certain team to win, I'm probably rooting for the Pacers. I really like Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's a fun player to watch. I love how he doesn't really care about the hate. He responded well to become the most overrated player in the NBA. So he's just fun to watch. He's a good player. He's a good guy, and I just like the Pacers as a team all around. You know, Going into this facing the Bucks, people thought they might lose, but they were okay with them winning. Going against the Cavs, immediately, which is understandably they were not the favorites because the Cavaliers were the first seed in the regular season, and they're probably could be or one of the best teams in the league, other than the Thunder, of course, and they they just outplayed them. There were some injuries, but most of the games they were just outplayed, and the Pacers won. So Pacers will face the Knicks or Celtics. I already said that I think the Knicks will go in to the championship. Sorry, we'll go into the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pacers. So that'll be a fun series. And then on the flip side, Nuggets Thunder. I know we talked about it a little bit. We said it's not a team you want to face in a game 7, but I really do think the Nuggets will win this on the 18th and move on to the Western Conference Finals. Who will win between them and the Timberwolves is a great question because the last 2 times they face, the first time it was a young Ant and they lost, I think, in 5 games, something like that. And then last year, I believe it was either 7 games or 6 games, and the Nuggets lost. So we're gonna have to see how this goes. I think that this one will definitely be entertaining because it started off Nuggets winning, and then Ant got his revenge next year. And is it a thing where Jokic gets his revenge, or Ant just continues the domination on these really good teams that have a bunch of stars but don't have the best supporting cast? Because if you look at the Timberwolves, their star is Anthony Edwards. I don't really count Rudy Gobert as a superstar. I think he's a great player, somewhat. Definitely probably one of the most overrated players, just saying. But I don't think he's a superstar. He's a good center. That's what he is. Dante DiVincenzo, good player, not a superstar. Julius Randle, who basically sent the Warriors home, not a superstar, but he's a good player. So it's the star Anthony Edwards with a bunch of good players around them. Nuggets, Jokic, Jamal Murray. I don't think you count Westbrook anymore. Honestly, Porter Jr. He is hurt, but he's kind of a star. So you have just 2 really good teams with really good team chemistry, and we got to see where it goes. I think that side will definitely go. I think both sides will go to 7 games, just from the history of the two and how the teams are playing. And that is if the Nuggets beat the Thunder. If the Thunder go in, I would have a hard time seeing that series not going far, but I do think the Thunder might take that series. I don't know though, because Ant has just been amazing. He really has been good. You know, as much as it's a joke, Jaden McDaniels is a very good defender, and if they focus their defense on Shea like the Nuggets have been doing, many other people on the Thunder team haven't been scorers. You know, you've had some people step up here and there, but if you shut down Shea, it's a little bit of a rough part for the Thunder. So Thunder need to probably address that if they get knocked out, especially this series against the Nuggets, and if they do in the Timberwolves series, they need to find a second scorer. I know they have some guys there that can score, but one, they need 3-point shooting, and two, they just need a very good second option, which is kind of like the Rockets. They definitely need a veteran. We'll get into them in a minute, but the Thunder, they're just missing a piece. They got a lot of young guys that they can move around. I think their oldest guy is Alex Caruso, so they got young players to build to trade because all their guys are young. So if you let a 2 or 3 go, I think you'll be okay. So you're just gonna have to see what you can get in free agency there, and you got a lot of draft picks still to move around, so you can really get a star. We'll see what happens though with that team because the way they've been going, they just like to draft, to draft, to draft, to draft, to draft. Their best player, Shea, did come from a trade, which I believe was the one Paul George was involved in, but you're just gonna have to wait and see. I think they get that other score. They're definitely straight to the finals. It's really that easy because they've been doing this good with the players they have, which they have great players. It's just a score thing. So they get another guy that can score on a consistent basis like Shea, you'll be good. But who I think will be in the finals, if the Nuggets make it to the Western Conference Finals, I think they will make it to the finals. And I have a hard time right now, honestly, not seeing the Pacers being able to make it. It's a little last year. It was a little different. The Celtics, they had everyone, and of course, Jason Tatum. He was not injured, so it was way harder for the Pacers to even win a game. But to be fair, last year Tyrese Halliburton was out of the season, out of the series after 2 games. So they weren't. They had some unfortunate circumstances. The Pacers did. And this year, if they get the Knicks or Celtics, if the Celtics somehow come back from 3-1, either team, I think the Pacers could definitely make it to the, finals, which would be insane because the Pacers have a good chance to make it to the finals. And then if you look on the WNBA side, the Fever, they're looking pretty good too. They could make the WNBA finals. So Indiana basketball has been pretty much on fire recently. Even college hasn't been bad if I remember correctly. So I would love to see Tyrese Halliburton in the finals. I think it would be great. It's just hard to say because it's a team I want to make it, and it's a team I really do think can go. You beat the Bucks 4-1. That's a Giannis-led team, which they're a little bit worse than the last time they've seen them, but still a pretty good team. They were 5th seed, and then the 1st seed. Like, come on, you got to give them some props. So, could I see the Pacers making the finals? Yeah, I could, and I'd be happy to see them there. If they have to go against the Timberwolves and Nuggets, it's going to be a hard series, and Knicks or Celtics would be hard, but I would love to see them there, and I think they can. Moving on from that, I will go back to my Houston Rockets. Boy, was that series something. The Rockets just struggled to score on some games, and of course, highlighted most, Jalen Green just sucks, and it was really bad. All right, and going back into Jalen Green, I have his playoff games up now. Listen, Jalen Green, love Jalen Green, love what he's done for the Rockets, and I appreciate everything. But even though it's your first playoff series, you gotta play better than what he did. Let's go over these games. First game, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Second game, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Third game, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Fourth game, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Fifth game, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And for the first game, playing good, 38 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, which was a good game. And then in a game 7, win or go home, you have Jalen Green with 7 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. I believe Amen Thompson played better in this playoff series. And listen, I know it is both of their first playoff series, but listen to Amen Thompson's games. First game, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Second game, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. Third game, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, 3 blocks. Fourth game, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Fifth game, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, and a steal. You have sixth game, 11 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. And then again, another player playing bad in a game 7 when you need it. You know, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. So he was more of like a I mean, he had a better game 7. I kind of think. I mean, he had more assists, more rebounds, more points, but not by a lot. So both kind of had bad game 7s. But the difference is, Amen had like more quality in the games. 24 the first game, 25 the third game, 17 the fourth. He had some like 14 point, 11 two 11-point games, which the second game was 14. Two 11s and then a 9. But he's younger. He has less time in the league. And again, like I said, I know they're both in their first playoff series, but when you're supposed to be the leader of the team, when you're supposed to be the scorer on the team, for Amen Thompson, who he's very good. Amen is our future. He has been phenomenal this year. Love Amen. Well, not phenomenal. He's been pretty good. Love him. He is the future. But he isn't the leader of this team yet. And Freddie VanVleet also had a terrible series, and Alfred Sengun just hot and cold in the playoffs. Sengun also kind of, I mean, actually, no, he played pretty good. Let's see, first game, 21 points, 14 rebounds. Second game, 21 points, 14 rebounds. 5 assists first, 6 assists the next. Third game, arguably one of his worst, 15, 9, and 9. Fourth game, 31, 10, and 5. Fifth, 15, 11, and 4. 6, 17, 16, and 7. And 7, game 7, 26, 9, and 1. So I think what I meant more is he's been inconsistent sometimes during a game, but he was very good. I think one of the most consistent players was Dillon Brooks and Alfred Sengun. Freddie VanVleet had a game where he shot like 13 threes or 11 threes and missed almost all of them. So you have like Sengun, he's got some time in the league, and he hasn't played in the playoffs, and he played pretty well. Dillon Brooks has had some bad playoffs, but he still did okay. Freddie VanVleet, he was good. I mean, he had some bad games, he had some good games, but he did his part mostly. Let me pull up his stats. Fred VanVleet playoff stats 2025. Who Draymond Green said Fred VanVleet was the reason that they lost in the finals, which probably not surprising, but let's get into this. We have first game, 17 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists. Second game, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Third game, 26, 1 and 2. Fourth, 25, 2 and 6. Fifth, 17, 4 and 3. Sixth, his worst game, 7, 6 and 2. 3 steals though. And then seventh game, another bad one, 10, 1 and 7. So most of these players are highlighted just having terrible 7 games, like the last game, the 7th game. Sengun, though, had a good one. But Amen, it's kind of understandable, but he didn't play terribly. I mean, 8, 9, and 6, he was close to a triple-double. Jalen Green, just 7, 8, and 2, just shooting at 20% at field goal. Amen was 44% in game 7. Sengun was 61%, and Fred VanVleet was 21%. So Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green, probably the two people that most Rockets fans want out most. I think Freddie VanVleet, just because the one game where he shot awful, like completely terrible. 2 for 13, I think. Oh, that was the first game. Sorry, reverse those orders. My bad. Wow. Okay, we'll go over it real quick. Jalen Green though also didn't play good in the actual 7th game, which I thought was the first game, which was 8, 4, and 1. So that means Amen played good in the 7th game. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Sengun, 21 points, 14 rebounds, pretty good. And Freddie VanVleet, 17, 7, 3. So he honestly had a good 7th game. Sorry, I messed that up. I realized the date. It says the first and went down, so that's my bad. But yeah, first game, Freddie VanVleet was absolutely awful. 2 for 13 on 3-point attempts. So never mind. Freddie VanVleet kind of picked it up to the end of the series, so I like that. Sengun, pretty good throughout the series. Amen. He got progressively better, had a really good game 7. And then Green, didn't matter which order I did, which game I thought was game 7. The first game and the last game, he played terribly. So, Jalen Green, love what you have done for the Rockets, but it might be time for us to part with him or at least find another scorer, which no matter who we trade for, it's probably going to have Jalen Green in the trade package. The problem is I like a lot of the guys for the future that I don't really know what package and who I'd be okay trading. Jalen Green, love him, but I'd be okay trading him. It just hasn't worked out, and he was one of the people who had the most time in the league, and he just didn't play well. Especially talking all that trash, where he had one good game with 38, but then the rest was just awful, and it's just not. His average was 37.2% from field goal. So it was just rough. So a package. Hopefully, I don't want to lose Reed Shepard. That's a guy I want to keep because once Freddie VanVleet's gone, I believe Reed Shepard will be the guy to take up for him. So in the comments, leave down the guy you want to trade in the trade package or trade pieces you'd be okay giving up. But something Jalen Green might have to go. I think most Rockets fans are just tired of the inconsistency and him talking trash just to have the terrible playoff performance he did. Amen. He did great, except for the first few games, but then he picked it up. Sengun, it's Goon. It's Sengun. Love him. We love him. And Fred VanVleet kind of chucked some shots, but he did play okay at the end of the series. So he's better. He's in better graces than Jalen Green. So we'll see what happens, but something different has to be going on because this is just not working out. Off of the Rockets, we talk about the rest of the playoffs. I can talk about, or I will talk about some of the Commanders additions because I haven't really been able to talk about that yet because I had finals. I took a quick week break, but we can talk about their drafts. Let's get into it. Round 1, pick 29. OT Josh Connolly Jr. Cliff likes him. I'm okay with that. I think that I wanted to get an edge rusher. I wanted Donovan Ezaraku, as a matter of fact, which sucks that he went to the Cowboys. But reading more into him, seeing some more clips, Josh Connolly, a lot of people just know him for getting bulldozed by Mike Green, but he's a lot more to that. But a lot of people just see the single clips and make assumptions off a guy saying he's going to be terrible his whole career. I like him from what I've seen. Really good. He's passionate. He is athletic. He can move pretty quick for the position. And he's one of the only guys to shut down Abdul Carter for a whole game. That's not a single clip. So let's hope he can keep that going. Of course, it was one game. You never know what can happen in more games. So we take what we got. Second round, 29th pick, Trey Amos. Love this pick. Love that we're continuing to bolster the CB room that has been terrible for years. One of my favorite parts about this is last year. You know who we started with? We started with Benjamin St-Juste, Emmanuel Forbes, Mike Sanderson, which we didn't know if he was going to be good yet, but we had a feeling he would. And that was your starters. Now you have Mike Sanderson, well, Marshawn Lattimore, who's your one, who I still believe in. I think he can be good. You have Mikey Sanderson, who could be moved, and then possibly Trey Amos if he starts, maybe Jones if he gets in there. But you have you have higher quality guys than last year just to start the season. Also, won't even mention his name, but we know the CB he was in later. That was absolutely awful. Maybe even worse than Emmanuel Forbes and Benjamin St-Juste, which is hard to do. You know who it is, but we won't talk about it because he was just so annoying. But it's just the jump from last year when we started the season to this year is just looks way better, and it's great to see a starting CB room that is just we feel confident about. Maybe you felt confident about Emmanuel Forbes to start. I I I don't even want to talk about that draft. Dude. That was just heartbreaking. Could have imagine Christian Gonzalez, Mikey Sanders still, and you know potentially Marshall Lattimore if we trade him. If we had Gonzalez, we probably wouldn't have got him. But imagine that type of room. Like it's just sometimes it flashes through my head. But all I'm saying is it's just way better to have a confident room that I can trust. Next, round 4, because we didn't have a round 3 pick. Jalen Lane, speedy guy. He is fast. Probably going to be a punt returner, but I would also like to see him on the line because he can just move. And if he has a quick first step, he makes a move, goes gone. Jane Daniels touchdown pass. As long as our guys don't get tackled within the first for the last 5 yards as they normally did. So, but I really like him. He's fast. He's good. I think he can be really good on punt returns if that's where we put him because we didn't get Crowder back, and I don't really think we have a really confident guy other than him because Luke McCaffrey he was good on kick returns to end the season, so he might find his niche there. But hopefully Jalen Lane can be good for us. Next, round 6, uh, Kane Medrano, I think is how you say it, linebacker out of UCLA. He's good. I like him. He's looked good so far in the camps. I think he'll be a good linebacker for us to take up after our linebackers leave eventually. Right now you have Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu, so he probably won't see a lot of time, and you just have some other guys that are already above him. We drafted the linebacker last year at a Temple, so and he might get some more playing time because he was an athletic freak, but Kane's also very good. So expect him to be a big player at linebacker for us in the next few years. Then to round off the draft, round 7, one of the two needs we absolutely had to get running back, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I'm surprised he fell to the 7th round after hearing a little more about him. He had some eligibility issues, so that's why he didn't have like a last season to really go off of. But from the start of the season, when he did play, he was pretty good. So this guy will be awesome for us. He's that home run guy that you need, that we need. I love Thanos, aka Brian Robinson. I love him. He's great. He's a big bruiser. He gets you those yards when the line's big and you need him in those last second plays. He's that guy. He's strong. He can get you there. But he hasn't had many games where he's that explosive home run hitter where Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is. He's fast. He is very good at finding the holes in the line, and he's just that guy, honestly. So I think he'll be really good for us. He is that guy we need, and let's just hope he can be good for us. I mean, I know we have some other guys that we like. Christian Rodriguez, love him. Had some good moments last year. Eckler kind of took some moments away, which Eckler, I hope we keep him safe, and please, please, please take him out of kick returns for the love of everything holy. Just take him out. We do not need him getting 2 concussions in a year again. But he didn't get C-Rod didn't get much opportunities last year, but when he did, he was good. So, but he's also not that home run hitter. I really think Ja'Cory is going to be that guy for us for the home run hitting runs. You know, we just need one of those guys really bad because we had B-Rob, but it's just not the same. But other than that, some undrafted free agents. I know we've had some good ones. We've been liking a lot of ones in camp, but if there's any guy that is an undrafted free agent that we know the whole Washington fan base wants to make the team and I want to make the team is Gabe Taylor, the younger brother of the late, great legend, Washington legend, Sean Taylor. I've seen some clips. He looks good. I think one reason that people have kind of underestimated him is his size. He's a little smaller, but dude can move. He said he will play any position we need him to play on defense, basically. So I want him on the team bad. I think it's a good moment. Of course, like some people might try to hate and be like, oh, he's only there because his brother. But no, this kid can play. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying kid because he's, older than me pretty much, but this guy can play. Gabe is very good, and I would love for him to make the team. There's gonna be haters, but listen, it's all good. We're gonna have haters. I mean, we're just getting haters because we have a lot of primetime games. The Eagles fans were mad that we had as many primetime games or more, depending on how you do the metric. But according to the NFL, we have the same amount. So, like, we're gonna start getting hate because we're better now. We're a good team. Crazy to say that. Didn't think I'd ever say that in my lifetime by how things are going, but we're gonna get hate. We just got to keep moving on because we're gonna be one of those teams that we take in stride. We're gonna be the fan base that you can talk trash, but guess what? Our players are gonna play. We're gonna win, and we're just gonna shut you up by how good we are. So let them hate. We'll be good fans. We'll have loyalty. We'll have respect to the other for the other teams. Not loyalty, but loyalty for us, but respect for the other teams, and we'll just show them how good we are by our play. We don't got to be one of those toxic fan bases like the Chiefs or the Raiders or the Eagles. Sorry, I have some friends that are Eagles fans. They're great, but a little bit of toxic. Cowboys, like, let's try to be one of them good fan bases that we know we are. And more things with the Commanders that are crazy. We're doing the draft in 2 years. I think 2027 is the year of the draft in Washington, and you know, voice crack, and that we're also getting a new stadium back in the RFK site. We're supposed to. They're still, I think, finalizing everything, but the way this is looking is that they're really banking on us being a good team. So those calls that we weren't getting the past few years, like the one call against the Giants that should have been called but didn't, that you know pass interference call, you know we're gonna get some of those this year. So just be ready for that. I think, at least, because if they're putting this much in Washington's plate, a draft, we're getting a new stadium that's gonna make a lot of money. They're banking on us being good. So be ready for that. And I think it's going to be a good season. I will have a win-loss prediction later. I'm probably going to do one with a Steelers fan because I have a lot of Steelers fans. I can do one with an Eagles fan. If there any team you want to see, I can do it for. But enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you guys for watching. Also, thank you just for being fans. I feel like I don't like say how much I appreciate you guys enough. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who watches, everybody who comes back, and anyone who just checks it out. It's a lot of fun. I try to keep it positive also, so just stay. Why not? But thank you guys very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a good night. Bye.